Think you got your world all figured out? Well, think again. I've got 15 psychological facts lined up that will twist, turn, and tumble your understanding of reality. Intrigued? Let's do it. Number 1. Emotional roller coaster. Emotions are more fleeting than we frequently realize. They're strong, transient feelings that shape our lives. Unexpectedly, emotions typically last for about 90 seconds, according to research. This indicates that the sudden, intense wave of joy, rage, or sadness you experience will probably pass within a minute and a half. Our thoughts have an amazing capacity to amplify these transitory emotional waves. We effectively prolong our feelings' presence when we dwell on them, thinking about their origins, ramifications, and potential outcomes. This phenomenon can cause emotional upheaval for hours, days, or even longer. Number 2. Memory fabrication. Our identities are built upon memories woven over time through experiences and events. However, recent psychological studies have exposed these memories' startling fragility. Our memories are not as unalterable as we might have thought. They are susceptible to manipulation and can even be made up. Significant questions are raised by the phenomenon of memory alteration by suggestion, especially in situations like eyewitness testimony. Research has shown that subtle cues, leading questions, and outside influences can skew our memories. It's even possible to implant false memories, leading us to believe that we've had experiences that never really happened. This has serious implications for how trustworthy witness accounts are and could result in false accusations or wrongful convictions. Number 3. Choice paralysis. The idea of choice paralysis challenges our conventional understanding of the advantages of having many options. A wide range of options can paradoxically result in anxiety and the inability to decide, even though choice is typically seen as a sign of freedom and autonomy. This phenomenon happens when people are presented with excessive options, making it difficult for them to decide. As the number of options increases, the pressure to make the right decision increases as well, and the threat of regret becomes more real. People might thus find themselves paralyzed by fear of making a mistake rather than feeling empowered. Number 4. Unconscious mind control. According to studies, subliminal messages, those conveyed quickly enough to escape conscious awareness, can affect our behavior and decision-making without our knowledge. The conventional wisdom that our decisions are solely the result of our conscious considerations is called into question by this revelation. According to research experiments, subliminal cues can influence preferences, attitudes, and even purchasing decisions. These cues may be present in rapidly presented images or sounds that our conscious mind cannot process. Still, our unconscious mind recognizes them and reacts. Number 5. Social facilitation. A subject that has captivated people for a long time is the impact of social dynamics on human behavior. The phenomenon known as social facilitation, which occurs when the presence of others improves or detracts from an individual's performance, illuminates the complex interplay between our actions and the critical eyes of our peers. The presence of an audience can result in improved performance in scenarios involving straightforward or well-practiced tasks. This is referred to as the audience effect. However, for difficult or unfamiliar tasks, the increased self-awareness brought on by an audience can cause anxiety and poor performance, a condition known as social inhibition. Number 6. Malleable morality. Malleable morality challenges the idea that morality is a rigid and unchanging compass that directs our behavior. According to psychological research, people may choose morally conflicting actions depending on the situations they find themselves in. When a person is alone and faced with a moral choice, they may make a different decision than if they were with their peers. This phenomenon suggests that social norms, group dynamics, and individual stakes impact our moral judgments. Number 7. Confirmation bias. Confirmation bias explores how our minds process information and create our perceptions of reality. It is a pervasive cognitive phenomenon. This bias is our propensity to seek out and favor information that supports our existing beliefs while ignoring or downplaying evidence contradicting them. This selective processing can result in echo chambers where our opinions are constantly reinforced, preventing us from being exposed to different viewpoints that can promote personal development. Because it minimizes cognitive dissonance and gives people a sense of security, cognitive consistency is something that people naturally gravitate towards, despite its drawbacks. Number 8. The illusion of attention. The illusion of attention challenges our conventional notion of multitasking in a time of technological advancement and information overload. While many people think they can manage several cognitive tasks simultaneously, research shows this is not the case. Our brains are not designed for multitasking effectively. Instead, they switch between tasks quickly, which decreases productivity. The gap between our perceived multitasking capacity and our brain's cognitive limitations gives rise to the illusion of attention. Although switching between tasks may make us feel productive, this action has a switching cost. Every time we change our focus, our brain must adjust, which reduces overall performance and concentration. Number 9. Emotionally contagious yawning. Yawning has a hidden aspect that reflects the intricate interplay of human empathy. It is frequently connected to tiredness or boredom. When someone yawns, even if they're not tired, others may also feel the urge to yawn. This phenomenon is known as emotionally contagious yawning. According to research, this reaction is related to our capacity to understand the emotions of others. The emotionally contagious yawn provides a glimpse into the complex processes of empathy and connection in human minds. It emphasizes the importance of emotional connection and nonverbal communication. This phenomenon helps us better understand empathy while also being a subtle reminder of how our emotional states can synchronize with those around us. Number 10. Rewriting trauma. Although memory is frequently thought of as a consistent record of the past, the phenomenon of memory reconsolidation calls this idea into question. Memory reconsolidation suggests that memories of events can subtly change with each retrieval, especially after traumatic experiences. Recalling a traumatic event during memory reconsolidation can make the memory momentarily susceptible to change. When a memory is retrieved from storage and combined with fresh contextual data, feelings, or even suggestions, this phenomenon can take place. Number 11. Time perception warping. One of the most basic aspects of the human experience is the perception of time, which is far from constant. The phenomenon of time perception warping emphasizes how constantly changing our perception of time is. Time can appear to speed up in situations involving high levels of emotional arousal, such as excitement or danger, giving the impression that things are happening quickly. On the other hand, repetitive tasks can give the impression that time is passing slowly. The brain's information processing mechanisms are to blame for this distortion of time perception. When experiencing intense emotions, the brain prioritizes learning detailed information, which takes time. In contrast, the brain devotes fewer resources to processing when performing routine or uninteresting tasks, which causes a compressed perception of time. Number 12. Emotional forecasting fallacy. This phenomenon shows how we often exaggerate the potential emotional impact of positive and negative future events. For instance, we might believe that a significant accomplishment will bring us endless happiness, only to discover that the experience combines happy and unhappy feelings. Like positive events, negative events might not cause us to feel as strongly as initially thought. This bias results from the complexity of human emotions and our cognitive propensity to emphasize important details while underplaying less important ones. Number 13. Invisible gorilla effect. The invisible gorilla phenomenon provides a fascinating new understanding of our focus and perception boundaries. People can become so preoccupied with one aspect of tasks that require focused attention that they completely miss other obvious details, even if those details seem impossible to miss. This cognitive phenomenon questions the integrity and completeness of our perception. This effect was proven in the famous study in which a person wearing a gorilla suit participated. Participants had to record how many times a team of basketball players passed the ball. A person wearing a gorilla suit entered the scene as this was being done. Surprisingly, many participants did not notice the gorilla, demonstrating how selective attention can cause us to ignore even the most obvious details. Number 14. Subjective reality. The idea of subjective reality explores how our individual experiences and cognitive processes affect how we see the world. While we frequently assume that there is an objective reality that everyone perceives in the same way, the reality is that our expectations, beliefs, and prior experiences significantly impact our reality. Our brains act as filters, taking in a tremendous amount of sensory information and turning it into a coherent understanding of the world. Our unique viewpoints and cognitive biases naturally taint this process. We see a constructed image influenced by our internal environment rather than a true representation of the outside world. Number 15. Pluralistic Ignorance. The complex dynamics of group behavior and social conformity are revealed by pluralistic ignorance. In group settings, people may choose to publicly conform despite privately disagreeing with the consensus out of fear of social rejection or isolation. The human desire for acceptance and belonging in social groups can be linked to this phenomenon. The complex interactions between individual agency and group dynamics, as well as the ability of perceived norms to shape behavior, are highlighted by pluralistic ignorance. As a result, the appearance of anonymity is maintained because most people believe those who hold dissenting opinions are in the minority. Having shaken up your understanding of reality, are you ready for more? Up next on your psychological journey, dive into 15 habits for mental resilience, or uncover 14 weirdest things that increase attraction according to science. Thanks for sticking with us. Like this video, leave a comment, and make sure you're subscribed.